What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. That took a long time. So today we're going to be reacting to a new channel for me, right? A new channel that I've reacted to. As you know, I've done stuff. Put it like this: John Bravo, Bubba, The Mud Pit, Trans West Watson, Try Critical. Myself, we do this stuff. I've been reacting to Wes for years, and now Rook. You guys make sure you subscribe to his channel. Rook put out a good video. I reached out to Rook and I said, "Hey man, is it cool if I react to this?" And he said, "Yeah, get yours." So with his okay, we're gonna react to this King Fajuli. This one is called King Azoulay. King Azoulay's disturbing past exposed. Absolutely horrifying. We know about it already, right? But I like the way that Rook did the video. So I said, you know what? I want to make sure I shine some light his way and he gets some subscribers out of this and some motivation, right? Keep going. Thank you for the work. Let's react.
And one day there was 5 Mexican dudes trying to jump me in the bathroom. I beat the out of them. I left one of them with his head in the toilet.
Raw. That's actually from a movie. I don't remember which movie, but 5 Mexicans. Where you grew up. How you beating the gardeners up like that? Why were the gardeners in the bathroom with you? Oh, rich kid ass.
This is the first time since making this channel I changed up the order of who I'm making a video about. Because today we're talking about King Azoulay. That's how he likes to be called, at least. But for this video, we're not calling him King Azoulay because to do so would be an insult to every king that's lived in the history of mankind and animal kind for that matter.
Damn.
The things that this guy has done is so deplorable, I refuse to even call him king. Some of you might have heard the bombshell that came out about this guy this week. We're going to get to that in a few minutes. But before we do so, I want to talk about some of the crazy things this guy says online. This is the first one that's genuinely made me sick.
So my name is Azoulay. I was born in the United States.
Why does he have an accent? I was born in the United States.
1990. My mother
I was in jail.
didn't want to stick around because some of my family members were working with Pablo Escobar.
My mother didn't want to hang around because some of my family were working with Pablo Escobar. You need to calm down, stupid. Who in the fuck believes that? Wait a minute. In 1990? Or after, it had to be after 1990. What year did Pablo Escobar die? Huh. I should have looked that up. That's something we need to look into. His family was working with Pablo Escobar. Shut the fuck up.
And she didn't want to have any part of it. So we went back to Israel.
Like most alpha males, he claims he was homeless at 17.
So at the age of 17, my dad told me I had to leave the house. I like to argue a lot. I like to talk back. I was very much of a smart ass. So at 17, he said, you know what? You gotta get the fuck out of here.
A millionaire at 21 and retired at 24.
Once I started making $5 grand a month, which was...
So, while I'm recording this, I had to check. Pablo Escobar died in 1993. So when he was 3 years old, his mom was just fed up with all the Pablo Escobar dealings and shit, you know? And she moved them back to Israel. Right.
At the time that I was 18, and then at 19, I was already making like 30K a month. By the time I was 20, I was making 50K a month. And it just went on and on and on and on. And at the age of 24, I retired.
not all alpha males say they're homeless at 17 or something like that, but becoming a millionaire at 20, 21, and then retired at 24, ooh, it's almost like everybody else has this script. I tried to dig a bit deeper into his upbringing and his life, because he claims he was homeless at 17.
Nobody buys that. What the fuck kind of shit? Who knitted? Who crocheted that for him? Fool was wearing a crocheted shirt.
However, the tiny bit of information I found would contradict that. It seems growing up, he was involved in a family construction business.
So me and my dad broke the back window, took out the window so we could put the pipes and the 2x4s in, and we'd go and do construction jobs.
But he claims to have grown up with a challenging childhood facing financial struggles. If your family has a construction business, you're not struggling there, big dog. To further support that theory, he founded Ben Axiom in March of 2021, which operates in Agoura Hills, California. It also lines up with the theory that his family did have a construction business because, wow, look what this is in, remodeling and design.
I went and I started working as a carpet.
Wait, I want to see something. This business is not BBB accredited. Okay, doesn't really matter too much, but I wonder why. You didn't want to pay? You're rich.
Wow, look what this is in, remodeling and design.
I went and I started working as a carpet cleaner. I was cleaning Macy's and Bloomingdale at night times, and at daytimes I would clean people's homes.
Hold up, so he made $5K a month cleaning Macy's and Bloomingdale's at nighttime, and after only 2 years, he's making $30,000 a month cleaning people's houses? Absolutely not. I don't know.
So you see why I wanted this video. I wanted to react to this video. This guy's doing his homework. He's putting in the work. I didn't hear these stories. I never heard he was making 30 and then 50. And it just went on, and then he retired at 24, yet he has a company that he owns. What did you retire from? Modeling? Calm down, Zoolander.
What world this guy lives in, but you don't even make a fraction. You're lucky to make a tenth of that. When I was in college, one of the things I did is I would buy and flip mobile homes. I would go in, I would do the carpentry, the plumbing, and there's a lot of money to be made in that business. However, you're not going to be retired at 24 years old by doing that. I can tell you that from firsthand experience. Ben's claim makes no sense because he claims he was homeless at 17, but just a year later he was claiming to make $5,000 a month, and only 2 years after reportedly being kicked out with no place to sleep, he's making $30K a month? I don't think so. Something that we'll talk about later, Ben got arrested and he spent time in prison. So how are you going to go from being homeless at 17 to a millionaire in only a couple years when you also have a prison term in there as well? It makes no sense.
Also, I don't mean to interrupt you, Rook, but he also became a secret special agent needed worldwide. If they gave him a year's notice, he was prepared. It just took him a year to prepare, and then he would go with the clear team, his imaginary army, and he would fight these imaginary wars all over the real world. Sometimes he never even left the shitter. He fought thousands of people while he was taking his morning shit. You know, this guy's fucking amazing. You know, so he fit all that in during that same time period. This guy's fucking never gets tired.
So Ben needs something to validate this claim that he's this massive success. So what does he come up with? He says he's created multiple tech patents and he sold them for millions and millions of dollars. I understand people can have interests of all kinds, but when you think about tech or computers, there's generally an archetype of a person you think.
Yeah, I know maybe, I don't know if Zuckerberg falls in there, but he has the same, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Wozniak, these guys all have these weird, awkward traits about them, right? This dude is just a pathological liar. He doesn't have those weird traits. He has other weird traits that are a lot fucking worse.
Think about, right? And again, anybody can like anything, but what Ben Azoulay is putting online in no way lines up with being a tech bro. I looked online and found a patent tied with the name Ben Azoulay. Ben's name was filed last on the patent approval process. Does that matter? Maybe. Also, maybe not. But he has multiple partners, and if he's making tens or hundreds of millions of dollars from tech patents, this product had to be sold for near $1 billion. And I'm gonna be real with you, that's just not happening. If you're selling something for $1 billion, you have to have something revolutionary, proprietary, and can quite literally change a market. And if that's the case, bro's not gonna be on Instagram flexing an alpha male lifestyle. But hold up, guys, check this out. If you Google Ben Azoulay, this guy also comes up. They have the same name. And it got me thinking, our Ben Azoulay, or King Azoulay as he likes to call it,
Yeah, or Queen Fajuli, whichever one. You know, I like mine more.
claims that he created these tech patents, but what if he simply stole the idea from someone else named Ben Azoulay? The reason I think this is a possibility, check this out. Look at the names of the other people on this patent. You have Bastien and Clement, both of which are French names. If you look at the web searches of this Ben Azoulay, everything comes up in French. So perhaps this is the real Ben Azoulay, not the guy over here we're talking about. Just an interesting theory. Now let's go into the crazy claim that he
Kung Fu.
trained with the Shaolin monks. He said this training gave him superhuman strength. He says they, quote, hardened his skull by repeatedly banging his head against walls. This has got to be one of the stupidest generalizations I've ever seen. I've been to Asia. I feel like in this video I'm saying I've done everything, but I promise I've done all this stuff. Being around monks is one of the coolest things you can do if you've never done it.
Imagine, hold on. Wait.
Promise, I've done all this stuff. Being around
Ben was wearing that. I believe he would wear some stuff like that here in California and walk around like that. And tell a whole story about his Kung Fu. His Chinese restaurant Kung Fu. The way he says Kung Fu is funny. Kung Fu. Get the fuck out of here, stupid. Is it gonna rain? These guys are prepared for everything, huh? Well, all right.
monks is one of the coolest things you can do if you've never done it. There's even some monks that will teach you. Here's the thing though, it's not a weekend retreat. You don't go up to a monastery and say, hey, I'd like to come and get superhuman strength. They're not even gonna entertain you. It's a serious, serious commitment. And it would shape your entire outlook on life. Your behavior, the things you say, what you eat, what you do. Absolutely nothing like what Ben Azoulay does online signifies he has any teachings from a Buddhist or a monk. Instead, it sounds like he watched The Karate Kid or some other martial arts movie, thinking that Shaolin monks are just running around taking people in off the street and banging their head against trees. It should be pretty easy to pull up a video or
banging their... Look at this fucking guy, man. Every time I see that dry ass beard, I feel like his face is gonna light on fire. I don't like this guy.
proof that he spent time in some monastery somewhere. But like all these guys, crickets, he doubles down and he talks about how he fought 30 men at once and they still couldn't take him down.
Well, I'm sorry. I'll rewind it in a second. This is the story where he was saying that's where he used to sleep when he was homeless. He used to sleep right there. That was his blanket. It was his blankie. That was his blankie. Yeah. This fucking dude, let me back up so I can let Rook do his thing.
About how he fought 30 men at once and they still couldn't take him down.
Of course
well,
not.
this guy must be the Terminator reincarnated, called the Terminator 2025. Make what, Terminator 4 now? Yeah, you got Terminator 1, Terminator 2, which is certified, Terminator 3, nobody watches that. Terminator 4, Ben Azoulay. There is some movie out there this guy watched and said, you know what, I'm gonna go online and pretend that this is my life. Even if you had a horde of people attacking you, okay? Let's imagine you're at the Battle of Thermopylae. This is where the Spartans fought the Persians, the Battle of the 300. Unless they're all standing many feet away and throwing something at you, there's no possible way. Imagine standing shoulder to shoulder with somebody. You can have what, maybe 6, 7 people shoulder to shoulder with...
No, and this is facts. Unfortunately, guys, those of you that have been around my channel, you know, I used to be a gang member. I've done a lot of jail time. Unfortunately, I've been involved in jumping people. And I can tell you, I'm just off the top of my head, I remember we jumped somebody in YA, California Youth Authority, and there was 5 of us on them. And believe me, we punched each other, kicked each other in the process of trying to punch and kick the guy we were jumping. I know in riots, in prison, there's friendly fire. Dudes will get stabbed in the hand, in the arm, the leg when they're trying to grab somebody and the person's obviously not going to sit there. So there's no way 30 people jumped this dude. What did they do? Was it a single file line? That's not getting jumped. Anybody who's really from the streets and been involved in violence, dummies like me, We hear a story like that, 30 people. Where were you at that there was 30 people that like were around you in the first place? Can we get some more detail so I can start believing you, Ben? No, Benny?
One person in the middle, Max. It seriously sounds like he watched The Karate Kid. He went off. He studied with this monk, Mr. Miyagi. He went and learned how to fight multiple people at once. Mr. Miyagi did that.
You know, growing up, I mean, the movies that I grew up on was like Jean-Claude Van Damme. That was my dream, to be the next Jean-Claude Van Damme. Before him, it was Bruce Lee. Then we had Steven Seagal. We had...
Seagal? Steven Seagal. Is that one of those birds? You know how they had the cartoon with the three birds? What were they called? There was like supposedly mob birds. Steven Seagal. Why does everything about this dude fucking just disgust me?
Arnold. We had Sylvester Stallone.
Azoulay talks about making tons and tons of money from his social medias as well, and I'll admit he has a pretty big social media following. I feel very strongly in saying, based on his recent analytics on YouTube, he's making less than 10K a month on this channel.
Absolutely.
A lot of people have it messed up thinking millions of followers or hundreds of thousands of followers means a lot of money. No, it's about the views. If you have a channel with 5,000 subs but 1 million views in the last month versus a channel with 500,000 subscribers and only 75,000 views the last month, that 5,000 subscriber channel is going to make substantially more money. Of course, he's offering his programs, his course.
I didn't know he was selling this shit. 12 live Zoom for $999. You get 12 live Zoom calls. Build muscle fast. How do you promise that? While losing body fat, and then with lasting strength, magnetic energy. Oh no, what the fuck? Focused and alert. Why is it past tense? Focused. Or like you're gonna get focus and alertness, maybe? Eliminate excuses. Find the time to hit your goals and extra hacks to achieve better results. Hey, why do these guys that all sell courses, they try to sell you something that they can't accomplish on their own? Like all the fucking charmutas, they talk about you're gonna explode in social media, and all of them, their content is complete trash. And who's this guy? Why are all his enemies that he's shooting at just coming from the left and the right? They didn't want to meet him head on. They were scared. That's what it was.
Versus, he always takes a second to go and show off his strong physique and how you can become like him. Join his Telegram group. This is one of the first guys I've seen use Telegram. Most people have their own dedicated platform.
And I got arrested for something that they said that I did, and I didn't do it.
Every time he talks about that, I want to make sure and point out, hold on.
For him.
And I got arrested for something that they said that I did.
He can't look into the camera. Immediately, when he starts talking about what he pled guilty to at 18, he looks away from the camera. You can't tell that lie.
And I didn't do it.
It's crazy that he sits here and says he was convicted of something he didn't do when he pled guilty. He openly confessed to doing it. But what did he do? Ben Azoulay was convicted of a serious sexual offense involving a girl who was just 15, way below the age of consent. John Bravo goes into detail on it. I'm not going to get super in depth on it here, but guys, when I heard this case and I heard this story, this is one of the most disgusting things I've ever heard in real life.
True story. Look, we don't need to go into it. You guys know I always want to leave meat on the bone. There's still almost 4 minutes left of this video. Make sure that you guys go over to this video, watch the video, tell them Dub sent you. Appreciate you letting me react, Brooke. And for those of you that don't, like, I can react to anybody's stuff. It's fair use. But I like to make sure that I give guys that courtesy and that respect, especially when it's this type of video. You know, this type of video, these guys are really going through IG and, you know, social media and finding these clips and putting them together. So I respect that, man, because, you know, I just come along and just react to what they do, to their work. I really don't like anything about this individual, Azoulay. He says that people want to cancel him. I don't want to cancel him, but I do want to reiterate before I leave that every single time he posts, he victimizes that 15-year-old girl again. She's 35 now, obviously. It's been 20 years. But hearing his voice, seeing his stupid face is not something she wants to do. So for that reason, I stay on it. And whenever I see somebody put out good content like this, I will react to it. And we will continue to stay on this dude, man. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them, man. I'm out of here.